You can't make lightning strike twice, but you can sure stand in the middle of a soybean field with a 4-foot length of rebar.
Driving a Miata aching, 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 aching.
Here's some clarification. When MX5 people say NA, they don't mean naturally aspirated. They're referring to the MX5s from 1989 to 1997, which is the first generation. The second generation, MX5s, were called the NB, the third generation is the NC, and the fourth generation, which came out the year of this video in 2015, is called the ND. The Mazda NA Miata MX-5 debuted in the 1989 Chicago Auto Show, and it was manufactured in Hiroshima because they made it their mission to avoid any more bombs. Too soon?
Where did you pick it up again? Philly?
I picked it up in Silverdale, Pennsylvania. Hang on, it's going. Here, it'll do it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
See, it went out.
Yeah?
And then I'll do it again.
Well, oh, so what, code 10? Or?
Yeah, code 10. So the manual says code 10 is like a 5-step procedure to figure it out. It could be the wiring harness, it could be the main module. You gotta like trace it from the main module all the way back.
Wait, what is turning on when I do that?
What? The cooling fan.
Oh, the cooling fan. Oh. Out the visor to show how it flips open.
You ready?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, everyone turbos these little guys.
There's one for sale in Berks County.
Really?
An NB with a turbo on it. They want like 8,000.
What? It's an aftermarket roof. I don't know who made it, but you can tell because this is different than this. They should look like that. They should look kind of like this. My phone is really annoying. Also, like, kind of not great tires, so you can have a little bit of fun with them.
Okay, duly noted that they may let go.
They do let go earlier than I think most.
Will they chirp and sing long before that?
Yeah, it depends on how bad you get them, but yeah, I've chirped them a little bit. But...
I have to put the headlights down because I have to see where the road goes.
Yes.
And I gotta remember to keep my hands up here because I keep hitting my knee.
Yeah.
Does this steering wheel adjust?
Nope.
Nope. The NA is a small roadster. With a 1.6-liter straightforward dual overhead cam, it sold 40,000 units from 1989 until 1997, which is impressive when you consider that small roadsters were on their way out when this car was released. The Alfa Romeo Spider was in production at this time, but it was the only small roadster produced at a comparable volume. So the MX5 filled a gaping hole in the market. In the first generation, this was the car for the kind of guy who used the term confirmed bachelor to avoid addressing his sexuality in mixed company. But the Miata would grow, at least in America, to be the stealth pre-cum of bro culture, with pickup artists and aspiring date rapists messing with headlight motors to make the car wink at community college girls. And later generations of the MX-5 served as the full load, with stanced wheels and mega-squirt ECUs. The Miata was also derivative of other roadsters, but that was its effectiveness. It had the reverence for classics, but also an inflated sense of its own importance. It's the Kanye West of cars. Cheap shot, but it's interesting how much people try to masculinize the NA. It's a feminine car. Now, don't spend too much time thinking about what that means, except when you do. All right, feminine. I mean, we're getting Alan Watts here. It's inevitable we would get into this kind of philosophy. The Miata is the negative, and other cars play this role very well, too. There's nothing aggressive about the NA. We were over this before. And guys, your basic bro can't stand this car. Oh, he hates it. Oh, I hate it. It's such a fatty car. And that says a lot about the basic bro. You will never, ever find a basic bro, one who isn't comfortable in his masculinity driving this car. And that's the thing that sucks, because this car outhandles nearly anything else. You can put the biggest V8 in the Camaro you want. You can give the Camaro independent rear suspension. Hell, you can even give it double wishbone if you want. Can't out-track a Miata. When the road gets tough, it's hard to beat this car. And that pisses the basic bro off, because here's the negative. Here's the feminine being superior. So, I mean, there will be some bros who buy the NA, but they gotta take electrical tape to the headlights and pretend it's a rally car, or they stance the wheels, or they roll cage it in the absence of autocross. It's the things that guys do to this car that make me ashamed of my own gender. I mean, look at what the Miata's become. Angry headlights on the ND. It's trying to get aggressive. It's trying to appeal to the basic bro. And it's gonna work. People are gonna buy it. But I lament people trying to get rid of the negative, trying to get rid of the other, which is what the Miata always was. It is weak, and that's okay. It is cheap, and that's okay. It is outdated, and that's okay. It is feminine, and that's okay. Every guy has a little estrogen in him, and it's okay to like the Miata for what it was, and what it continues to be in the modern cultural context. Anyway, the first generation had optional limited slip differentials and neutral handling, 50-50 weight, we've been over this before, but it's all these technical details that made its popularity extend far past the market and into the critical sphere. The best. This was a two-door Justice League on wheels. It was a car worth its weight in gold-pressed latinum. Because of the negative aspect of the Miata, it's the perfect car for a mind-clearing drive after your girlfriend says she's too tired for a sit-and-spin, but you come home after your drive and find her playing pocket DJ later that night anyway. Even though it has 50-50 weight distribution, the Miata MX-5 can be reckless. It can be a hesitant experience if you're not careful. You might find yourself waiting for it to punch up to the next level, and you find yourself anxious as you wonder if that next moment will ever come. Anxious, and also a little scared. Like those pressure tests at the eye doctor where they pump air into your eye. But you gotta hold it open or they have to do it again. That's the thing about the throttle with the stock NA. You have to stay on the power, right up until the point where things get scary. Or else, you lost all the power, you gotta do it again, gotta wait for that puff again, and the waiting is the hardest part. But waiting for the power in a stock NA is the entire experience. It's using the power that you have, instead of trying to cheat with all sorts of supplements and borderline steroids or whatever high school kids are using these days. You need to love to drive a Miata in its stock form. It's the last step of the grieving process. Acceptance. Acceptance that maybe you are a senior who will never start. That's okay. You can do all the curls for girls you want at the gym, but your biceps just aren't gonna pop like the other guys can. You can't kick as high, you can't punch as hard, and you don't have to make excuses for that. And you don't have to go around the world telling people that you're okay, because someone who says how they're over it is never over it. What I'm saying is this. Use the NA MX-5 like you would use a comfortable worn-in pair of jeans. You're not upset that it's too tight or too loose. It's okay that there's a hole in there that worn in naturally. All its faults and all its virtues meld together until you don't notice them anymore. Because the Miata is the negative. It's one of the few cars that when you drive it, it calls attention to the outside world. Everything that's not it. When you drive a Miata, you're not paying attention to the Miata like you would be in a Firebird or Camaro or Corvette or any associated General Motors product. You're paying attention to the world. Everything that's in the background, the negative, is now the positive. The focus of driving a Miata is everything else but the Miata. How about that?
Take me to track day rather than the eye doctor. Drive MX5 just as long as it's stock and you still value your life. Not too tight and not too loose, like a smooth bowel movement you like. Take me to track day rather than a tux fitting. Why did my bro make me part of the wedding when I'd rather be home driving my friend's MX5? Oh good God, let me drive one of those.